Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Louco's Light. And today's topic, how to say no to drugs. So especially, I'm speaking to teenagers, but it could relate to anybody. And I have a guest today. She's really intelligent. Her name is Roxanne. How you doing today?
I'm good, thanks.
Good. So first question, what do you know about drugs? Like, what do you know? Like, what have you learned in high school, college?
Well, what I've learned, honestly, drugs are everywhere. You cannot control it.
It's true.
Drugs have, I don't know what are the positive outcomes of drugs, but really it's something that it's out of control and you can't really contrôler les paramètres and stuff about drugs, yeah. So.
Okay, that's good. And that's exactly what I think also about it. It's like, it's everywhere, and that's what, and then a lot of kids don't know, like, you know, how bad it could be if you, like, you know, you're taking drugs from a stranger, you know? Like, and then also, like, prescriptions, like, the kids use as, like, you know, like a dose to, like, do drugs with it, which is really scary right now. Like, you know, in the parties, you know, the kids doing after parties, or like when the parents are not home. And like, for me, what I would like to ask you, second question is like, do you think they should educate more the kids on drugs in school, or the parents should do that?
Both. Because what happens is often, yes, in school they talk to us about drugs and everything, but I think it's the parents' responsibility as well, not to just say don't take drugs, but explain the reasons why. Just because what happens is a lot of kids, they grow up and learn stuff in the streets, at school, because the parents are so preoccupied with work that they don't have time to educate their kids about these kind of things. And you know what, when you're young, growing up, whatever your friends do, that's what you want to do. And if you're not grounded at home, you're going to be very easily influenced to do whatever the majority does.
Yeah, I agree with that. And then the parents don't even know what the kids discuss in school, you know? Like,
exactly.
And a lot of kids around me, you know, all they talk about is like when parents leave and want to after party. Mm-hmm. And then some of them even comes to ask me, like, you know, can you buy alcohol for me? Or where can you find weed? Or where can you find this type of drug? Mm-hmm. And for me, like, it's absurd to hear those kids, you know, come to me and ask me for that, knowing who I am. Like, mm-hmm. I'm the type of person I like to talk, you know, I like to ask, why are you doing this, you know? Because I never, like, put myself in a situation, you know, we're all young, we all did, you know, negative stuff that, you know, stuff that parents didn't like. But for me, when the kids, I should come ask somebody older and not be afraid to be judged. It's, you know, and then there's no shame in it. And then it's true, what I realized, like, the parents and the teachers, they have to do more like, you know, research on how kids think, you know, when they're not around. Because if we don't do that, the kids are only going to use us, you know, because most parents will give the kids money, you know, to buy food, clothing, and then some of them use that money, you know, to get those stuff. And my third question, have you ever had a friend that had an addiction with drugs?
Addiction?
Yeah.
I don't think so, but I've had people around me and people I've known in the past that I've heard they're like into hard drugs, but around me, no. It's because I don't allow myself to be surrounded by that, just because I'm the type of person, I will talk. Like, I will tell you and give you speeches and to the point where you will run away from me. So, like, I rather not be, but if I know people, like if I was in that situation, I think my responsibility would be to try to tell the person and give them as much knowledge, because most of the time they do know, but then they just think that it's whatever, like it's my life, and you know. And
that's the sad part, because, at the end of the day, an addiction, like, I don't have like personal friends, just like you. I've had people around me that had an addiction with, like, let's say weed or like cocaine or even alcohol, and it's really tragic, you know. It's really a sad, you know, image to see somebody around you like going down the hill like that, and then they're not, and then like you said, like in the back of their heads they know it's not good, but like it's my life, I'm doing what I have to do for myself, you don't need to judge me. And what I've noticed is like, even if you want to change, you know, by just thinking about it but not actually putting into practice, like into action, even rehab cannot help you with that, you know, once you addicted to a drug, you know, or like alcohol. And then you need that change. And I always tell people, like, you know, like God put you on this earth to use your mind, you know, like he created us this image, but like the spirit, you know, we share that. So if you actually let yourself go down the hill and thinking God's gonna save you, that's not what's gonna happen. He wants you to save yourself. He can only give you the knowledge. And I always often say, if a stranger actually telling you, you know, it's like the message coming from God passing through that person, because God cannot get through you anymore. It's like the alcohol is like infecting your mentality, or the drugs, you know. So you should take advantage of, like, you know, that person. And then, like, what do you think about if you see a homeless person outside, like, and then let's say they're addicted to, you know, like I said, alcohol or like a drug, what's the message you would pass to them? Like, would you stop and talk to them, or?
Normally, as a human being, it's my duty to do so. Would I do it? I don't think so, if I have to be honest.
Okay.
Just because we already have preconceived ideas of homeless people, and unfortunately, like, it's bad. Like, I'm not saying it's okay what I'm doing, you know, but it's just that normally the least we could do is like tell a homeless person, you know, like, usually when they do drugs, they don't even do it in front of you, right?
Yeah, that's true.
But for example, a technique my brother used to do is, if a homeless person's asking him money for to eat, he's like, come, I'll go buy you a meal. And if that homeless person gets upset, no. Obviously the money wasn't for the meal, you know? So, but to be honest, like, I don't even know how I would even approach to say something, because I think that if I was in that situation, I'm not trying to hear anybody and come and give me advice, because I'm already at a low point in my life, and it's like I'm aware of the realities around me, and it's like, yeah.
That's true, though. And then that comes, you know, with the topic, how to say no to drugs. Like, I always tell people, you know, like, if somebody's offering you a drug, you know, go do research on the internet. You know, if you don't want to listen to people, because you're right, most people don't want to hear about, like, don't tell me what to do, don't tell me how to think. You know, on your own time, go see the research. What does drugs do to you once you take it? And and there's a lot of videos for that. And, you know, if that what you want, you end up in that situation, end up in the streets, then, you know, it's your choice. But I'm sure most of the people, what I'm thinking, you don't want to do that. And then also, I agree with what you said. Personally, I don't think I would go talk to a homeless person, and then it's kind of the same reasons, because I feel like they don't want to hear me out. So that's why I always say, like, you know, once you walk away from a homeless person, and when he's asking you for food, your silence speak louder than your presence. Because when somebody see you ignore them, they actually think, like, okay, there's something about me. Either I stink, either, like, this person doesn't care about where I am. So, and then I'm hoping that my absence is gonna help that person change to, like, stop doing drugs, get a life. And then if you really want to ask me for money, it's because, you know, you want to get to know me. You know, like, sort of like, I want to be a friend. Not I want that money to use drugs, because I'm gonna ignore you. Because I don't want you. Because I know if I give you that money, or like, what you're gonna do with it. And I agree with what you said, that, you know, it's like, you know, I think it's better to, like, not talk to them. And the more we ignore them, the more we don't give them money, I think, you know, the more that they're unwilling to change, you know, to stop being in the streets, to find another way to get money, which I always tell people, like, offer them the address of a library, you know, print a resume, and then find a job. And then that's what I think. What about the kids after the parties? What do you think about, you know, on TV you see that a lot, like Jersey Shore, those are like young kids and not like real adults. Like most of them are like, people thinking they're old, but they're actually like young. And then a lot of kids, they tend to, like, what they see on TV, they want to do it, you know? So what do you think parents should be aware of, what they should do?
It has to start at a very young age. Like, for example, my brother, he's been doing something for years with his kids, and I never used to understand why. Like, he doesn't have cable at his house.
Oh, wow.
So what he has is he'll have Netflix and stuff like that,
Yeah.
where he can control what his daughters watch, right?
Yeah.
And I never used to understand it, but the more I'm getting older, the more I understand what he's trying to do, because on TV you cannot control anymore what kind of commercial is passing on, like where commercial for shampoo is so sexualized. It's like your kid is watching it, you see? But when it comes to like for drugs, what's unfortunate, and I'm like, even myself as one day I'll be a parent, I'm always wondering, like, how will I deal with this situation? Like, I can try to give advice to my children, talk to them, but at the end of the day, when they're outside, I can't be with them 24/7, and I can just ask God to be with them. And because more the years are going by, like the tricks are getting different. Like I might think, oh, I know all the tricks in the book, and then my kids will be pulling tricks on me and I won't even know, you know?
Exactly.
And nowadays it's not, people are not getting high on weed, they're getting high on nail polish remover. So if you have nail polish remover glue in your house, you don't know when your child's in the washroom, you're thinking the child's taking a shower and they put the shower on, but they're sniffing. Like they're getting high on everything, and we need to try to understand as human beings what is pushing these kids to do that. It's more deep than just the high or the feeling. It means there's something inside that's not okay, you know?
That's true.
So I honestly, I don't know. And as I said, yes, parents' responsibility, school responsibility, but at the end of the day, there are some families where the parents are there 100%. The teachers are very in good schools, good surrounding, family of like 5 kids, and there's this one kid that's just the opposite, like, and this is just a question of circumstances, and you have to deal with the situation when it happens.
That's actually true, because most kids, like even they have like a rich family, a family that's always there, they're gonna use that excuse like, I was being controlled, so that's why I turned to drugs, you know? And we think it's not only like in the poverty environment that people are using drugs. Like rich kids, that's what they think too. Like, I was home too much, they were controlling me, telling me what to do, and then that's how I turned to drugs. Now, like before we end, like, see, we're talking about all this, right? With, you know, how to say no to drugs. But now, the people that provide the drugs, you know, let's say the people that sell it, the people that, you know, makes it. Like, for me, the message I always like pass to people like that, you know, I don't mind you making money however you want, but you have to be ready for consequences if you didn't earn that money. So let's say if you use people to make that money. So if you're not ready for those consequences, you should not be doing what you're doing, you know, providing drugs to kids or anybody. So what's the message you would pass to those people that provide those drugs to those people, you know, and then that, you know, you're literally killing your society, you know?
You know, if you're willing to provide drugs to people for you to have money in your pockets, you obviously have issues, and your morals are completely on another level. But I don't even know what I could tell a person like this, because they know what they're doing. Themselves, they don't use it. Because they know that's one of the number one rules of a drug dealer is never use. Because the moment you start using, you lose control of everything, right? So they're very aware, but I guess they're like predators. They're as bad as murderers, because, you know, you see a murderer that will kill somebody is the same thing you're doing. You're a killer in silence. Because you're just making money in your pocket, but you don't care how many people have to die, and you don't care that you're messing up somebody's life or somebody's daughter's life. Because when you have somebody that does drugs, it's like, it's everybody around this person that's affected. And that's why my wish would be that the government or the system would impose rehab. You know, like, not, because unless you didn't break the law, you cannot be forced to rehab.
That's true.
It has to be a personal choice, but a lot of people are so out of it, you know?
That, I think we sell a lot, and I'm really thanking you for for being a guest today. That was really appreciated. Like I said, how to say no to drugs is basically say no.
Say no.
And like you said, we can't control who's selling it, who's giving it, because everybody trying to make a living, but you have a responsibility to say no when somebody offers you drugs. And this has been another Louco's Light Show. Thank you for my guest again, and you can catch my show every Wednesday, and you can catch other beautiful shows on MalaikaTV.com. Have a good evening. Thanks.